Good luck indeed. Hey there, Postal here. So, what are we trying to do? Say hello. And we're going to see what kind of battle we're in. We're in Tier 6 battle. Hallelujah. So one thing that you'll notice throughout this battle, man, these yaks. So I'm going to take a look at a handful of the yaks since they're on discount right now. And I wanted to kind of show everybody some of the strengths and weaknesses of these planes. There's a lot of weaknesses, to be honest. So let's start. I always start off with the weaknesses, so that way everybody kind of has a heads up of what they're getting themselves into. And then I'll end off with the strengths. And you want to focus on your strengths, be aware of your weaknesses, but try to learn to mitigate them. This whole line's one of the weaknesses is definitely its airspeed. Yeah, okay, good. You're not paying attention to me. Complete lack of airspeed. Complete lack of altitude performance. And what else? And pretty weak guns. Wow. Wow, you're making this plane sound awesome, Postal. They can be okay guns. The thing with these kind of guns is it's like sustained damage more than high volume output or anything like that. You've got on this particular plane, you've got two machine guns, 50 cal machine guns, and then one 20mm cannon. And it's that 20mm cannon that you'll be spraying hits. And it's hub mounted, so let's start with the good things. The good things on the guns is they're all centrally located, so you've got the ability to kind of focus them down. Oh, Jesus criminy, so much for that. Oh, did I mention it's a weakly armored plane too? There we go, cool. So you've got the ability to focus an enemy down. It just takes a while no matter how focused you are on it. This plane's really good at being in a flight because you can take this plane and you can basically kind of own a sector for the most part. You can be overwhelmed just with the volume of enemies, but it has a lot of maneuverability going for it. It's got basically the same maneuverability, it's on par with the Zeros. You know how maneuverable those Zeros lines are. And on top of that, you're going to have similar altitude performance to the Zeros as well. But that being said, if you're paying some hot attention to what's going on around you, you can definitely have a positive impact on the enemy airplanes that are around you. I don't fear really any enemy airplane as far as maneuverability is concerned. Now, this plane's not specialized, so clearly I will have to make sure I'm paying attention to some of those specialized planes that are kind of on the cusp of my maneuverability. Because specialization, paying attention to the map. Oh man, the airspeed on this plane is mind-numbing. There you go. Thank you. Oh. Whew. Well, that was more fun than it needed to be. Really, with this plane, you desperately need to pay attention to what's going on around you, because if you get caught out, you're just going to be in all kinds of trouble. Clearly. Let's get this this 20 mil, it's big for this plane, on target. And yeah, alright, so we're barely behind on points. Let's go ahead and, well, we need to defend that. The airspeed's gonna kill me on this plane. It's absolutely gonna kill me. I'm not going for a B-17. It's too far up and take too much of my energy, and I barely have enough energy as it is. Like an old man. I ain't got any energy for that. There's a heavy plane up above me, gotta pay attention to. And I'm just kind of tapping, because I do not, God forbid, you over frickin' heat your 20mm cannon, then you're stuck with nothing. Oh, this bow fighter with a ridiculous rear gunner, right? Again, I don't have my plane specialized, so I'm about to frickin' stall out. I don't see any other planes around me, so I don't mind stalling out. I also don't mind I'm overheating my guns because I knew I was going to be stalling out. Yes, yes, rear gunner. Thanks. So that's like a calculated risk kind of situation. Alright, cool. Let's get some airspeed going up here. Let's get back down to a reasonable altitude. Wah-yabba-da! So, you're right, I've got to use my maneuverability to keep myself out of trouble because I can't use anything else. That's all you've really got with this plane. Now, I still recommend this particular line as a, you know, not a bad line to first go down. Just because it's forgiving, you know. Yeah, you might not necessarily be able to carry a battle. You can, but it's a lot more difficult to carry battles in something that's this freaking slow. But I'm actually carrying the, believe it or not, I'm carrying the battle for this particular battle because their rocket base is doing everything it can to try to take over this sector, and in the meantime, I am doing a relatively good job of holding on to the sector. So it's wasting its military base is wasted on trying to flip a frickin' zone that it's not flipping, while our military base is taking over both the sectors that it was able to. Then again, we just lost that goddamn military base of ours, because why would we do that? Why would we want to hang on to that? So we're definitely going to lose this center section now. There's no way I can overcome 2 rocket bases. I didn't want to go over to that rocket base because it's just going to take me so long to go defend it. But let's see if that was the right decision or not. It was not. How are you doing? Still no boost. Where's my boosting? I need to get rid of this guy. Good, because I've got more planes coming in. Big 3. Oh, it's going away. Alright, well, we've got both mining facilities, so actually we're going to win this, just because 2 mining facilities, well, we're not going to win it if we give up a mining facility, but 2 mining facilities is worth 4 sectors just by themselves. Good God, people. Good God. Never mind. I'm going to stay at the center, actually. See, it took me 3 minutes just to get to the edge of this sector. So even when they take over this sector, I'm just going to pop back in and take it back, right? And it does look like we're going to win this even before they take over the center. This isn't going to be the best game, but I think this is going to show you, like, you know, what this plane is. You know, warts and all, so to speak. Let's pay attention to this key. Is he coming right at me? Yes, he is. Is he? Yes, he is. Yeah, might as well put on the extra maneuverability. Turn around, so I can definitely outmaneuver a key. If this was a 0, that'd be a different story, right? So, you know, nothing over the top crazy good. But we're able to kind of just show you what this plane's all about. And what that is about is it's a one-trick pony in the worst way, to be honest. At least the 0s, in their one trickiness, you know, tend to have better guns. I'd rather honestly have a couple of the 0s than the yaks. Granted, the 0s have you know, wing-mounted guns, and the yaks are all center-mounted. Where this line really separates from the 0s as far as like maneuverability and things of that nature is concerned is going to be tier 8 and above. So tier 7 and below, I'd rather have any of the 0s. Tier 8 and above, though, you go from the normal 0s to multi-rolls. Really good multi-rolls, but, you know, they're multi-rolls nonetheless. So everything that you've built yourself on, like you're used to, you know, being super maneuverable and yada, yada, yada. Now you go to a multi-roll, which has really, really strong guns, but has lost that maneuverability that you might have been, like, using as a crutch. Well, if you want to crutch yourself, yeah. At tier 8, you get a Yak 15. And so you don't go to a, you know, this tech line does not jump off and go to a multi-roll of any kind. This just continues. I mean, if you were good with the Yak 1, you're going to be good with the Yak 30. If you enjoyed the Yak 1, you're going to absolutely love everything above tier 8 and above. And, yeah. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at the Yak-15 and let's see what this thing can do for us. Alright, so we are taking out the Yak-15 now. So there's going to be a lot of similarities between this and all the planes before it. Ridiculously good maneuverability, center-mounted guns. The biggest changes that you're going to see is you've got a significant jump in boost speed. So now you're going to be going from, you know, your normal prop planes to a jet plane. It still doesn't have great top speed, but it at least has the ability to boost as needed from zone to zone. So that's when I typically use the boost on this plane, is to get to the next sector. FJ1 on the enemy team, Spitfire 14. I can outmaneuver both of those, although he's specialized. I doubt he built it for maneuverability, but who the hell knows? Until... Good God, man. Freaking anti-aircraft is going to tear me up. Unfortunately, we're in a Tier 8, Tier 9 battle, I should say. Leave me alone, you son of a biscuit. Let's see if I can get... So, this is just going to be a lot of freaking ridiculous turning. Tier 9, you know, can be a little bit frustrating. Not the end of the world in this plane. You know, you still have your maneuverability. A good amount of maneuverability. And I've overheated my 23mm cannons. So what this does have over the previous Yaks is... Nope, 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 nope. 23mm cannons instead of 20mm cannons. There's no machine guns. These cannons are pretty strong hitting. But they do overheat like it's nobody's business. And there's only 2 of them, so kind of fickle. Knocked out everything on this guy, finally. Holy cow, let's get back to the center. They've got the 2 most important things. Can we get some people to get the mining facility, maybe? Or maybe the comm center? I don't even know. At this point, I'm just going to hang out in the center for a little while and see what we can do. If I can get this guy injured. Paying attention to my map, it's just heavy planes around me, so I don't need to worry about, you know, like a random dogfight breaking out. That makes sense. Got a Jawa coming inbound here. It's ridiculous 30mm cannons. Ow! Just one frickin' hit of those hurts. But that's the Tier 8 0 right in front of me, right? So something we can easily outmaneuver. And I'm not going to go zooming past him because, you know, I don't have great airspeed. No, thank you. Good God. I only did that because, you know, he was at low hit points. Spitfire 14 is going to be a pain in the butt, maneuverability-wise. But I got behind him, so he's going to be less of a pain in the butt now. 228, good God. So many freaking strong, you know, ruin my day planes. I really need to get some hit points back. Okay, so let me see if I can do that before we lose this sector. Can I? Oh no, they burnt it. Where's the thing? Can't even find it. We're gonna lose this sector so quickly. And he's out of the sector. Yeah, we're about to lose the center. We're gonna have all we're gonna have at this point is garrisons. So it looks like I'm gonna try to kill this guy and keep on keeping on to the. Well, maybe I'll stay here. Is anybody of any note gonna capture anything on our team? So one of the downfalls of this line and of you know, fighters in general is their inability to actually cap. There we go. They're really good at defending, obviously, but they struggle when it comes to. Good God, no! They really struggle when it comes to actually capturing I obviously can't take a frickin' mining facility for the life of me. You know, joke's on you there, buddy. I'm totally used to not having any freaking airspeed, so taking out my engine really doesn't mean much. Taking out my wing, that's a little different story. Man, this guy's moving so quickly. Aim further out. Guns are overheating here. Trying to pay attention again to the ground, to the map. Let's go ahead and get behind this guy. Gotta tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. He knocked out my engine. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Good thing we were outside the sector. It's a shame. I was hoping that I was going to be able to get him quick enough. We have gotten the mining facility. So now if we can hang on to the center, that'll be even better. Our FJ1's doing pretty darn well. Let's load back in. Oh, hello, sir. Oh my goodness. Nope, you're too far out. Let's see what we can do here. IL-10, Jeebus. Probably not the best thing to be going after here. But he's the target in front of me. Good. Holy freaking cow. This is like, it's some pretty intense crap, because everything's like, you've got 3 seconds to kill whatever you're killing, because they're going to capture the center section. Excellent. Freaking nerves, man. Oh, let's use Das Boosten. Let it cool off. Cool. Whoa, hello, sir. Tier 9 Jawa. Nice. Oh my god, how are we hanging on to the center section here?
We cannot support you any longer.
Well, this is it.
Do you copy? Over.
SU-9. Let's not get blapped in the face.
Keep it up. Victory is all
Cool.
ours.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we're out of boost. Nice. Oh, this plane is ridiculous. So we're hanging on to the center section, and we should have this game in the bag as long as we don't completely screw stuff up. I mean, I've been known to screw stuff up before. So I'm just going to kind of hang in this sector. Section. Keep watching the map. Can I actually get a bomber, maybe? Nice. There's some multi-rolls coming. Oh, shoot. And I'm outside my altitude bracket. 2 Jawas. Dueling Jawas here. Get rid of one of them at least. Cool. Now we're gonna turn back around. Engines out. Oh, darn. Look at me. I'm super worried about it. Of course, I'm gonna stall out here. No! Coast, frickin'. Come on, Yak, coast! There we go! Oh my gosh! That was really satisfying. You know, being able to stay alive for that long and hold that sector for that long. Granted, again, I have to reiterate, would not have been able to win that game. It wasn't for my team taking over the sectors that actually won it. But me being able to hang on to the center section, which you can do very easily in Yak 15, and for that matter, most of the Yaks in general, but Yak 15 and above is like built for this kind of situation. Because we were able to hang on to the center section, they were using all their time to try to get the center. It's kind of like the military bases in the previous game. They were spending so much energy with the military bases, taking over the center section, and I was holding on to that center section, killing everything and recapturing it back before they could flip it. that's really where this plane excels. And so, luckily for me, you know, the ground attack and bombers on the team, you know, these guys here, these bots, you know, did an excellent job of doing what we needed to be doing. I'm assuming that 367 here was making Tallgrass's day a living hell. I didn't really see either of these two guys. I saw everybody else though, and I just melted them. So yeah, the Yak 15, I kept it. It's just one of my favorite, like, release some you know, bad vibes kind of planes. Again, it can be frustrating if you're hoping to be able to completely capture a zone on your own. You're not going to capture things like mining facilities or even command centers on your own. You need something that can actually do some ground damage. But last but not least, the line ends on the Yak 30. This plane, it's more of the same. So, you know, we're gonna hop into a battle here, but let's not go expecting some sort of ridiculous over the top like jump in gameplay. It's going to be very similar to what you just saw. It excels. This whole line excels at that. And so that's really what I meant by, I'm just going to battle here. It's really what I meant by, like, if you're good at the Yak 1, you're going to be good all the way up. If you like that gameplay at the Tier 5, Tier 6, you're going to like the gameplay all the way up. And so that's why I recommend this particular line. Like, you're going to know very early on if you're going to like it. And to be honest, the planes themselves just get better and better. They get harder hitting and harder hitting. You're going to still have the same weaknesses we're going to see in this video, I'm sure. The Yak 30 is going to have, you know, an issue with impacting, taking over sectors. But one thing that it can do a little bit better than the previous planes is go from sector to sector. It's definitely got a bump up in speed. It's actually got quite a significant jump up in altitude performance. Its altitude performance is in line with the multi-roles of the game, where previously you were in line with, you know, tanks and ships. It's basically your altitude performance on the Yak 19 and below. All right, so now we've got the Tier 10 Yak 30 out here. And I certainly hope that everybody isn't expecting, you know, different gameplay with this particular plane, right? Oh, we got 262 on, and we got Garrick as well, and an F2H. What? That was weird. So Garrick isn't. So we've got an XF90 and F84. Both of which, obviously, I can outmaneuver. So let's go ahead and get the garrison over here while we're at it. And then we're going to head to the center. And then we're going to hopefully own the center. The thing we're going to have to watch out for, you know, is going to be things like an XF90 that can be hitting you before you even realize it. So hopefully I'm paying enough attention to my map to where I can, you know, counteract his ridiculous speed. And that's really like the two extremes, right? XF90 is the complete opposite of this particular plane. A frickin' rocket with small wings. This plane is just a turn fighter still, just like every other Yak. This is just the culmination of the Yak line in every way possible. There's no deviation from other gameplay that you've learned on this line. You know, if you're looking for new gameplay, you know, then this is not the line for you, because it's it's the same gameplay all the way down the line. And, you know, that can become boring, but I think it can also make it so that you've strengthened yourself throughout the learning has been nothing but, you know, learning how to play this plane. That's really what it comes down to, in my opinion. Alright, so we're gonna stray a little bit away from the center. I can do that in this plane where I couldn't really in previous planes. You've got a little bit of airspeed. Come on, dang it. Can I get him? And then I need to head back to the center. Cool. All right, so we've got that. Let's go ahead. We're going to put our... Oh, I just thought I had my boost available. We're going to head to the center of this plane. I've got more airspeed than previous planes. It's still a pretty slow plane. It's like a slow plane for tier 10. But if you're used to the sluggishness of the rest of this line, you know, being able to go 500 miles an hour is going to be, you know, a boon when you're used to going 150 and 250. Doing more of the same. I am owning the center section, right? So that being said, we really do have to pay attention to the map, what's coming in, what's going out, because this is going to be my bread and butter. I am not moving. I'm going to be Gandalf. You shall not pass, right? So I want everybody to come to me. I'm not going to go to any kind of crazy altitude unless it's time to do something like this. I'm going to get rid of him, hopefully. Before... Yep, there we go. Cool. FJ1, I can easily outmaneuver. Cool. ME. Get rid of him. Got a 262 on our team over here as well. Cool. What else is over here? We got... Is that F2H? I mean, not that you don't want to be afraid of an F2H, but a specialized XF90 human is going to cause more fear than this guy is. Speaking of which, let's get the F94D. Reason being is because the XF90 is going to take a lot of my energy. And I mean literally like my speed, my airspeed. Ah, dude! Holy friggin' crap, man! And I don't want to be, you know, doing that. It's not my wheelhouse, right? I'll definitely get behind him if he starts attacking me. Like, I'll swivel around and get behind him. But I'm not going to go out of my way to get something like a frickin' XF90 because it's just going to be stupid. Yeah, I'm actually going to go for him just so he doesn't get behind me. He says as he lets a frickin' BVP behind him. So there's three, I don't know if I mentioned it in this particular video, there's actually three 23mm cannons on this plane, instead of the two that we had on the Yak-15. And they're all centrally mounted, like everything on this line's been. And having three of them is really, really nice. And I actually get three at tier 9. But, you know, they really don't seem to overheat very much. Yes, that's right. Turn. Turn, because that's what you can do. You can out-turn a Yak-30. Nyat. And you can see the altitude performance that this plane can get. So much better. It can get up to 7,000 feet, you know, not really thinking about it. And, yeah, that's super helpful. You kind of need that at tier 10. You wouldn't be able to survive with tier... crap. I was trying to turn, but it took too long to turn there. You really can't get away with, you know, the Yak-19 altitude performance at tier 10. That was quick and dirty, wasn't it? 5.5 minutes, 17,000 personal points. More of the same. Thanks. Late Oppressor. I like the name. Yeah, let's head back. Alright, so 15 frags. Not a whole lot of damage to air targets, to be honest. What, like 9,000? Not even. But we were right in the Yak's wheelhouse. And what I mean by that, and I gotta give this guy a GG, because we definitely... you know, what happens with any fighter in the game... I didn't even see Crikey. What happens with any fighter in the game is you need, and I mean light fighter, you really need, it's a lot easier anyway if you've got, you know, a heavy fighter or a GA or a bomber, or I guess to a lesser extent, a multi-role, who's able to be there and you guys are able to support each other. A light fighter, especially a Yak, can own a sector. You saw how I did that. But owning a sector will only take you so far sometimes. I mean, I've been in plenty of games where it's like, we need this command center, and the bots or the humans are not supporting very well, and like you just can't flip a zone that desperately needs to be flipped, because it's not what the fighters are built for. Especially the yaks, they're built for defense, defense, defense. They can defend the crap out of a sector, as you've seen in these last 3 games, and that's really the tactic that I would recommend with all the yaks is. Go to a sector and defend it. Now make sure that you're defending a relevant sector. Make sure you're defending a sector that's going to win you the game. Don't just go defending a corner garrison. Typically a corner sector is not the best bet unless it's like a corner sector right next to their spawn area and you're just kind of like owning right next to a spawn area. Usually if it's a map that has a relevant or an important center section, that's the best. Go for that center section. And own it. You'll notice on this game I went and grabbed a garrison on my way to it because, again, capture what you can capture. You can capture garrisons in those small air bases, forward air bases, whatever they're called, I forget. Those you can capture pretty easily with the yaks. A normal air base, a big air base, I mean, you can capture pretty well as you saw, and then you just sit there and you own it. And so you can see, prime example, from Yak 1M all the way up to Yak 30, same tactic, and was able to own it. Now, you have to make sure you're keeping your head on a swivel. I was paying attention to that XF90, right? He wasn't able to do anything to me because I was staying away from him. But if he had attacked me, use your maneuverability to try to dive out of the way, and then swivel back on behind him. You might not be able to kill him, but you're kind of annoy him. Get some guns on him as he's moving away, maybe knock out an engine or set him on fire, and then go back to your normal swivel fighting that you're doing in a yak line. And so, again, I'm going to reinforce. I really do believe this is a good line to go down as a first line, first line that you go down. This and the Spitfire line, I believe, are like my 2 most recommended lines. Just because they both provide forgiveness. If you make a mistake on a yak, you can outmaneuver and get back, make up for your mistake. I've done it plenty of times myself. What I like about this line, again, it's the same plane. You're just reinforcing, whatever you've learned, you're reinforcing that as you go down the line, and you end up with a really, really solid Tier 10 plane that, between its altitude performance and its airspeed, you kind of mitigate some of those weaknesses that you had to deal with on the lower tiers. You've got solid gun power, too. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed this particular video. I want to give everybody a quick heads up. Keep in mind, I am streaming tonight. Saturday, what the hell is tonight? The 14th, 9 p.m. Eastern Time for at least 4 hours, maybe 5 or 6 if I'm really feeling up to it. So at least till 2 a.m. I mean, at least till 1 a.m. Eastern Time. I'll certainly fly the yak or anything else that anybody actually requests. So feel free to join me on Twitch, and I'll be doing that. I hope this particular long video was helpful. Gives you an update, a heads up on what you're going to be dealing with on the yak line. Maybe gets you excited about it. But otherwise, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And good luck on the grind. Bye.